This is a review of Survivor Season 28, Cagayan, Episode 3. This episode is titled Our Time to Shine, but we are going to give this episode a new name after we recap it, after we talk about whose stock is going up and whose stock is going down after Episode 3, and after our Survivor press conference. We'll be renaming it, and it'll be me and Richie. Richie, welcome back to the program.
Thank you, man.
It is a Wednesday in the dead of summer, and Survivor is not rolling, but we are watching a classic season.
Yeah.
Is it filling that hole for you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm watching another season at the same time, too, so it's getting a little tricky when I go on the Paramount app and I have to go back and forth to the different seasons, but hey, shout out Shay Real for Paramount.
Yeah, and I will say, I love that Paramount provides Survivor, not the best streaming app. Not
the best.
Sometimes it can be tricky. Sometimes it can be.
It takes a long time to scroll all the way to 28.
And it always wants to take you to season 1. It's like, no. I was thinking of starting season 27 myself because I just finished 26. But yeah, dude, I'm enjoying Cagayan too. It's hard to kind of not jump ahead because the season's good and it feels like I want to binge it, but I want to give it its due, To get into the episode, we get back from the Beauty Tribe where Bryce was voted out after a 2-2-2 vote, and the person on the outs is Morgan. And we see this is a classic, again, a taste of everything Survivor can offer. A classic nighttime anger scene, where Morgan is coming after Jeremiah. And then Morgan eventually tells the rest of the Beauty Tribe that Jeremiah has been saying some things when maybe he has or maybe he hasn't. Either way, it's some gameplay from Morgan where you're like,
I like that move from her, bro. That's a great move.
And it's funny because Tony did it too, and they're not. I don't know. It's funny that both of those instincts kicked in to just kind of gossip and lie. And the fact that could that happen in season 47? Can you do that today?
I feel like I haven't seen people lie a whole lot and say that, oh, so-and-so said this about you. People don't do that anymore. It's weird. Or even if they do, it's they almost take it for what it's worth and they just accept it and they don't call the other person out. And I love those big arguments where they call them out in front of everybody and get into an argument. I feel like that's why we like these sort of reality TV shows, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it is a lot of reality, and then, but now it's just fully gameplay, man. They have incorporated some moments that were, more than or just not gameplay, like the Taylor Swift Metallica game. But I don't know. It's just I feel like when we get a Survivor on the show, gotta ask them that it has to make a difference that the game is longer and that there is time to say crazy things because there can be days between challenges and whatnot. It's crazy. But big play by Morgan. Then we get right into a blindfold challenge. Again, a classic. It doesn't really happen lately, and I'm actually not mad about that. I don't think blindfold challenges. I think they're a fun time to watch. Previously.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like a challenge that's good for the beginning of the season too.
Yeah,
anything past episode 5 might be a little bit too late for a blindfold challenge.
Yeah, and
it's nice because you still don't fully know everybody. You don't trust your teammates fully yet. You're coming back from a crazy tribal council like Morgan, and how do you then go and trust your teammates and they're going to tell you where to go. So yeah, it is an interesting one. Yeah. Cause then you get a caller and then you get people out there and the blame can get thrown around and it's really tough because it's whatever, but also it seems probably at this point in Survivor 2, they weren't doing many of the one-on-one physical challenges where they were throwing each other or dragging each other. I saw it in 26. It was get the ring and drag through the water. We don't see those happen. And even a blindfold one, I kind of feel dude, I bet people got hurt pretty bad too. Even when James got hurt in James's season, when James got hurt, it was an intense basketball tackle game. Yeah, it was tackle football basketball in a little teeny dome, and yeah, dude, people got hurt. Mm-hmm.
That has to be a factor in why they don't do some of these challenges. But yeah, LJ and like, dude, some crotch shots and just
Mm-hmm.
kind of not fun to
Lindsay got
watch.
hit a couple times.
Yeah, this was maybe a time where it was like fun to see people get hurt. Like that was an era of television that people. I mean, people still watch ridiculousness, I guess, and whatnot. But yeah, I think I do like the part of this challenge where it's not just bring it back, but it's also you have to be on the ropes
Yeah.
and get the
Good
machine.
timing and team. It does take a lot of teamwork. So.
Yeah, and like you have to do it at the same time. And Beauty honestly was all over it. And it again, the brains were honestly all over it too. Weren't too far behind, but then it was for some reason that last pesky pole. And guess who? Jatia, who if that's Garrett right there, we might have brains going up. But yeah, and that's such a frustrating one too because it just feels so simple and so easy. Because
how do you not pull at the same time?
Yeah, I was feeling their stress, and then I was even like, wait, the Brawn don't come back. They're not gonna.
Yeah.
No, I don't think they lose this bad. And then it's like, dang, they do lose this bad.
Yeah.
And they win chickens, which again, winning chickens. Oh, it's the best, right? It goes, fire, then it goes fishing gear, then
tarp.
It goes tarp.
I don't know. Tarp
comfort.
Might be two. I feel
tarp,
like tarp might be two.
Might be two, and then we get to chickens to get the everything else you need. And after this, I feel like it becomes meals and like experiences and stuff like that. But yeah, because this is all the camp basics, and getting chickens just feels so classic too. And we get to the beauty camp with their chickens, and we get
great conversation.
This is what the producers were hoping for when they planned this season. They were like, dude, I hope the beauty tribe ends up with a moment like this of, where do the eggs come from? And like, yeah, and LJ being like, dude, they're so dumb, but then maybe LJ doesn't understand, and then like,
oh, for sure, doesn't understand.
And then like, yeah, it's just hilarious. But then you also get a chicken, them killing the chicken scene too, which is like, that is certainly not something they would do now. Maybe, but like, it's also, you're not there long enough to where you need a chicken. Chickens aren't necessary.
There's also like chicken. They're not like normal to have in Fiji too. I don't think either.
Right. Yeah. So pretty wild chicken conversation when the beauty tribe brings back the chicken feed. Jeremiah reaches into the bag, feels the piece of paper, pulls it out, and shows everybody. Which to me, I'm like, gosh, that's another kind of maybe beauty moment. Because if you do you think you would have the instincts? Because really, this is showing everyone's fight or flight. Is if you reached in there, I think if Tony reached in there, he would have squeezed his hand, maybe shuffled it deeper, and then scooped out whatever, and then been like, dude, I felt it, and I'm coming back for it later.
I think I would try to do the same thing as that.
But instinctually,
yeah, and I wonder part of what his thinking was too was, hey, like I just kind of like got caught playing both sides. Maybe I'll earn a little bit of trust here by just reading this out loud.
Yeah, and just pointing to it was interesting, and they read it and didn't really do much with it. We haven't seen yet. So we'll have to see on that. Back at the Brawn tribe, we see Sarah at the Brawn tribe next, and she brings up something that comes up quite a bit in Survivor. She was talking about Cliff and says he doesn't need the money. Another conversation where it was sort of happening with Liz in season 46 we just went through, but that conversation, like, I feel like the money was such an item of like, what will they do with the money? Who needs the money? Like the money was talked about so differently than it is now. I do feel like it is much more today. Like, people want to win Survivor. Because $1 million isn't going to change your life in 2024 as much as it did in 2014 or as much as it did in 2000. And yeah, I don't know. She brings it up about Cliff, which is fair. Which I do wonder, and maybe I'll find out. Actually, I will find out for the next episode. Who is the richest person to ever win Survivor? Who would your guess be?
Either Jimmy Johnson or the dude that owns.
No. To win Survivor.
Oh, to win.
Yes,
okay.
Someone who would probably already had the money, but richest person who won Survivor. Like Tom wasn't he like a teacher?
I think he's a firefighter.
Who is he?
Jeremy firefighter, probably not him.
Probably not Jeremy. Probably, I mean, no spoilers here.
Probably not Tina.
Kenzie, no. Even Jam Jam, no. D, no.
Probably nobody really from the new era.
Um,
Gabler, Marianne, Erica, no.
yeah, no. Yeah, these are.
I could see maybe, I don't know what, I don't remember Chris, what he did. But he seems like the guy who might have
I think he was a firefighter EMT. I mean, he was a big dude.
Dang.
But.
No, I'm talking about Chris from
Edge of Extinction.
season 39.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was a firefighter?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
Let me see this. Who is the wealthiest person to ever play Survivor? Earl. Maybe.
What did he do?
I don't know. Wait. No, he was one of the richest, but he beat the Dreams. I don't know. Anyways. But yeah, no, so it brings up, he doesn't need the money. And then we also get a Tony moment where Tony stumbles up on Wu and Sarah gets paranoid a bit and makes Sarah swear on her badge. He swears on his badge and swears on anything and then lets us all know that he doesn't care.
Once again.
It doesn't matter. And honestly,
I think he said it every episode that he'll lie on anything.
There's there's something to be said about if Survivor is a social experiment. Well, Tony is such a good test subject to, hey, if you have someone who doesn't believe words matter, then could they win if words don't matter? Yeah. And he's someone who definitely continues to compete. We will say that about the season. And yeah, he tells you right away. Yeah, I don't know. You see anything else from the Brawn tribe here?
I mean, they talk about throwing a challenge, which I mean,
correct.
I don't know if I could ever with Amy just throw a challenge. I feel like every time a tribe throws a challenge, it spirals out of control and they just keep losing.
Yeah, man, and it is interesting that the Brawn tribe, who seems like the competitive tribe, the one that wouldn't want to do that, and even Trish had my instincts too. I would have been like, dude, it just is not good juju. I don't know that I believe in juju, but there's got to be a stat out there that if you've thrown a challenge, I mean, yeah, it doesn't work out for you. Or even for the people who sit out for food or sit out for rice or whatever, that also hasn't paid out well for people either. So they do the challenge is called Sink a Shot, which is objectively unfair. I mean, I know they're throwing buoys and they had to swim down. Yeah, and the funny part that they really didn't emphasize, they did a little bit there because Green was struggling with it, is they had to throw the balls back, which probably took the longest time. And if you missed,
especially when you have somebody like Jatia who couldn't swim, the whole time I was thinking why don't you have Toshko in the water who can swim a little better at least? Yeah. At least she's gonna try harder.
Yeah, I do not get it. And yeah, clearly some double rim energy from those goals. They're bouncing in and out. Beauty wins far and away, so they kind of dominated this episode in terms of challenges. And then it's between Bronze and Brain, and it felt Spencer has the keys, they should win this. And I did think maybe because I couldn't really tell during the challenge if they were throwing.
Yeah, they did a good job if they were trying to, because I mean you really couldn't tell fully. Yeah, I feel like Sarah could have gone a little harder on some of those dives that she came back up, but
yeah. And Green ends up losing, Brains end up losing, and it does we go out into commercial with Sarah saying dude, I tried blowing this challenge, but that team just sucks so bad. It's crazy. And another thing is, I think Tony sat this immunity challenge, which I know they have to sit people, but it is funny, he's sat a couple times already. I think he sat last episode too, and so I was like, huh. I mean, sometimes that's smart, because I imagine, dude, these challenges drain your energy. A lot, we don't necessarily see that because they have very little calories in them, and to go out there and dude, some of those, even if you're in shape, look like tough challenges. Oh yeah. And so yeah, pretty wild. We get right to the Green camp. It's Jatia and it's Spencer really on the block, but it seems to be Spencer, but it really just doesn't make sense. It ends up being Jatia, but they really didn't give that away that much, that the girls.
No, I think the entire time you're watching that, you think that it's going to be Spencer. I mean, and I think sometimes they do that on purpose, where hey, let's make them think one thing, and then we'll go the other way. And then the next time, hey, let's make them think one thing, and it is that thing.
Yeah.
I think they do a good job of doing that, so you don't really know for sure who is going.
So we get to tribal. It's a little bit of a like the funny part about this tribal was they walked in and Jeff like didn't say anything for like 10 seconds because he was just like, dunking
back
on,
again.
Yeah, dunking on, and he's seen quite a bit of losing teams. Maybe up to this point, not this much loss, maybe a couple times.
Yeah.
I think Gabon had a really bad tribe, and yeah, I mean, One World, the guys' tribe kept losing too, which is wild season. But I feel like Cass and Tosh really must have not wanted Jatia to blow up. So they must have known a while. My guess is that they did not want another Rice explosion. They didn't want to deal with drama. And it was just like, hey, we're sending Jatia home, but we got to put on our acting faces. And good on them. They keep Spencer. Yeah. I did even feel like a fear for Spencer, even though I know he's sticking around a little longer. The show's just too good.
You feel bad for him a little bit for sure.
Yeah, and he even like has to do that plead at the end. He's like, "I'm going to show you that you made the right decision," which is such a Spencer thing to say. And yeah, it was a. I imagine if you were watching live, that one felt good. Where I was like, "Oh, sweet, yeah, we get," because he would be one that you'd wonder, like, "Oh man, I bet that kid was good. He was all over it." But Jatia goes home after quite an explosive first week in the game, which is wild. So let's go into a Survivor press conference, if you will. You got a question for a Castaway or for Jeff?
Yeah, I think mine kind of leaned a little bit more towards Spencer when they brought the Beauty Tribe in from to the Reward Challenge, seeing who like Bryce lost. He didn't really look too surprised at all. And my question would be like, how much time do you guys like talk about after the last immunity challenge about who you think's going home or
oh yeah I wonder if they do that, because they know who's going.
I mean, because you know that they talk about it, but you wonder how much time, if they play out different scenarios based on who ends up going home or not. So
and I feel like they do that where Jeff's like, all right, you're getting your first look at the new blah blah tribe, and sometimes their reactions are and it's justified. Because it's like a medevac situation, or it's a crazy blindside, someone who you thought was in power. Or sometimes it is just we saw that coming. Those moments are always interesting. Those are the little moments, the good ones in the show. But yeah, I do imagine they kind of gear and hope for certain ones, because they might be like, you might be in love with a girl in the other tribe, and you're just like, hey, I'm in love with her. I feel a connection.
Crazy.
Mine is for Jeff, and I do wonder if, I don't know why the conversation keeps coming back to 39 days for me, but watching these older seasons, I just love it so much. But I do wonder if the animal thing ever became like an issue. Like the show has been very honest about, no longer saying, come on in guys, or all these other things. But I wonder if animals was something that they got written in on, or they got talked about. Because dude, like Jeremiah snapped the head off a chicken on television just cause. And like, there maybe is nothing wrong with that. But like, I know there are people who would think there's something wrong with that, and I wonder if that noise ever got loud enough to where Jeff felt pressure to be like, no, we don't need to do this anymore. But like, you do have great, Survivor moments like Ty and his chicken Mark, which then brings Sia
in.
Tribal
Council.
Then Sia gives fan of her favorite fan $50,000 or whatever, and it's like, wait, that is the most random Survivor history ever, but it involved a chicken. And I think it'd be cool to have the chickens back. I just don't think they would make sense, honestly, in 26 days. You just kill them right away.
Yeah,
you wouldn't like they were relying on them for their eggs, and that was kind of cool.
For sure.
Which is what made this game and this show so cool. Is you went like, dang, if I was there, could I nurture a chicken, not let it run away? I guarantee you, I would let it out, and I would be the one who. When I watch those scenes, I'm like, yes, I'm capable of doing that.
I think part of the strategy with the chickens too is like, when do we kill one of them versus saving them for the eggs for a little bit longer. We're all really hungry. Big challenge today. Let's kill one of them.
Yeah. That's another thing I wonder too, is like maybe like a Jatia moment. But if I know I'm on the bottom and I know I'm going home, and it's not going to be a blind side, like I know I'm going home, and we're cutting up rice portions that last meal, am I going like, hey, give me 2 cups? Hey, like, I mean, like, not to be a jerk, but like,
Why
no,
not?
yeah, like I want to. I'm not gonna be here any longer. I might as well just fill up
Mm-hmm.
my belly right now. I don't know, like
There
if
is, I forget what season. I don't remember who it was, but I swear she let the chickens go because she knew she was about to go home.
yeah, I love the bitter exits,
Yeah,
but yeah. All right, stock up, stock down. Who you got after episode 3? Who's looking good?
stock up,
Who's not?
stock up for me. I went with Sarah based on the fact that she seemed to have gotten like Tony, Trish, and Wu all okay with the thought of throwing the challenge to get Cliff out.
Yeah.
So I think that gave her a good step up in that tribe.
Yeah, I think I was gonna go. You're saying stock up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Stock up, I'm going Spencer. I mean, I think you survive a play like that. You're down to
Okay.
3. I think at that point, I mean, because I don't really know yet. I didn't watch the, next time on Survivor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're swapping yet, but I'm feeling like back then it's like if you have 3, it should swap. And if it doesn't, your
Yeah.
3 just has to beat their 3. Like, it'll be even
Mm-hmm.
anyway. But I think Spencer surviving this more than likely will get him to that next level. Because, yeah, it really did seem like he was on the bottom, but they must have done that as a
Yeah.
fake out.
I could see that for sure.
Yeah. All right, stock down. I'm actually going Cliff, man, and it's because of what I said earlier of like when someone says they don't need the money, and you're convincing people right now that they shouldn't be in this game, not because they're gonna bring us down, not because they suck to have around, but because like for kind of a dumb reason that he can't really control. I think that's blood in the water.
Yeah. I think my stock down, I'm gonna go. I had Cliff too. My other one I'll go with Morgan.
Yeah.
I mean, come back down. I mean, you lost 4-1 in the last vote.
Yeah.
You don't have a good shot, it looks like. You're pulling on throwing grenades, trying to get people to think, hey, maybe Jeremiah did or didn't do whatever she said. So she's kind of pulling out all the stops now. So I feel like her stock's starting to go down.
Yeah. And like we said, I mean, Beauty had a pretty good challenge day, but that doesn't always last. If you challenge streaks don't last forever, losing or winning. Wild. All right, Richie, what would you name this episode? It was called Our Time to Shine, which I believe was said by the Green Brain tribe, because it felt like this was going to be their day, but it really was not.
Yeah. Mine will go based off most of what I feel like almost like the highlight of the episode was with LJ just getting hit back to back to back in the spot you don't want to get hit. So my title is you got to always protect the McNuggets.
Always protect the McNuggets. All right, 4 words. I like it. Okay, I think I was gonna go with, if I was going with a quote, it would have been from Sarah. Just call it "That Team Sucks." Like the title of the episode, "That Team Sucks." It's probably too negative. You want people to. I don't know. People always want to click on negative. So my other one would be also, I guess, negative. No eyes, no brains.
Okay.
No eyes, no brains. Which title did you like more, and what did you think of episode 3? Let us know in the comments, and be sure to hit them up. Richie, thanks again for joining us. I gotta ask you too. There are a lot of great television themes that come on. This is one that actually has a their original title song is cut short on its own. But when you're watching old Survivor, do you skip intro?
It depends on what I'm doing. Sometimes if I'm doing something around my room or around the house, I'll let it play. If I'm just watching it, I'll skip it. I mean, I'm gonna watch a couple in a row. I don't need to hear it every single time.
Yeah, it's just funny, man. They had to update it every single week because they would be eventually it would say the jury, and it would show the people again and show their. But I have such a fondness for this. I have to let the song play and watch their glory shots and see if I can pick up on anything. Because it actually only probably happened. It's probably at 80% of the seasons now where there's a real true title all the way through.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Yeah.
Episode 4 is next. Episode 4 is Odd One. Wait. Yeah. Odd One Out. The next episode. All right. Odd One Out. We'll see you next time.
See you guys.